The Oscar nominations were just revealed this past Thursday. Okay. So, before we have a little bit of a shit fit, or I have a shit fit, we're going to go and look at the nominations because there was a lot of good nominations, a lot of interesting nominations. And I'm going to go right from the Academy's website, and we're going to start off with the screenplay. So, the nominations are for Best Original Screenplay, Anora, The Brutalist, A Real Pain, September 5, and The Substance. So, I'm going to let Kyle go first, and then I'll give my take. So, what do you think is winning this, and what do you think is your pick? What do you think will win, and what should win?
It's tough because you have you got 5 really good movies right there. I mean, they're all from a writing standpoint, they're all very, very well executed. Anora was my best of the year last year, and I would be happy with it taking home, excuse me, anything. I think it has a better shot at Best Original Screenplay. However, you have September 5th, which is so good. That's the movie about the Munich massacre as it's happening, but you're watching it solely from the newscaster's point of view. So that one I think has a good shot. Honestly, for me, it's a toss-up between Anora, but I think The Substance is going to win. I think The Substance has a really, really good leg up on winning a lot this year, and I think that's one of the ones it might take.
I'm going to go a little bit differently, but I would not complain if it was a Substance. What I think they might do, here's the thing. What a lot of people don't understand with the Oscars, and I've had a lot of people yell at me, right? They've literally been in my DMs yelling at me, hey, you're wrong about this. I'm like, to win Best Picture, you need to win either adapted or original screenplay or director. You don't even have to win actor. Any acting awards, it helps you. It really, really helps you.
Yeah.
But if you don't win screenplay or director, you're not winning picture. So what I think is going to happen here, I would love to see Anora take it, having not seen The Brutalist yet, because there's no word on a digital, and there's no theater within 100 miles of me even playing the stupid thing. So I'm going to have to wait probably until later this month. If I had to pick, if I was going to pick my winner, it would be A Real Pain. I think that was the best script of last year. It was funny, yet heartwarming, and it was just written to the perfect length of what it needed to be. It hit every mark it needed to. I'd pick A Real Pain, but I think that the Academy today would go for Anora. And I think if Anora wins picture, it needs to win this award. It needs to at least win this.
Yeah, I see that.
If The Substance wins, holy shit. If Demi Moore wins and this wins screenplay, there's your Best Picture number 2 right there for The Substance. But September 5th, I know that comes out next week on digital. So I'm planning on watching that one very, very soon. I'm surprised I didn't get a Best Picture, but we'll get into that in just a few minutes.
I'm a little surprised too.
Yeah. Going up here, this is the one that's a bit of a fight right now. Best Adapted Screenplay. A Complete Unknown, Conclave, Emilia Perez, Nickel Boys, and Sing Sing. What do you think is winning this, and what would you pick to win?
I think definitely winning it is Conclave. That is a excuse me. That's very much a movie that's nothing but dialogue. I think it has the better, I would say the better chance at winning the award, even though Sing Sing is a film that's all about dialogue as well. Conclave is more. Sing Sing is more free flowing, and Conclave is more structured. And I think the Academy would want something a little more structured. But again, I'm not the Academy. A Complete Unknown might do it. I don't know. I can't speak for Nickel Boys because I have not seen it. There is not a theater that is playing it by me. I really do want to see it. My prediction is it might hit Amazon like a week or two before the Academy Awards. I'm not sure. It all depends on how it performs at the box office. Emilia Perez, I mean, hey, we'll get into that a little bit later. But what I want to win, I want Sing Sing to win. I think more people. I don't know why A24 kind of botched the release for that a little bit, or A24, excuse me, because that was supposed to have a nationwide release in mid-July. I saw it in mid-July. It was screened as a mystery movie, and I loved it. I'm like, but when I reviewed it, I said I have no idea when it comes out because I don't have that information. And then in December, I heard that they were kind of screening it quietly and then doing like a big rollout in January for award seasons. That being said, it's still not playing at a theater by me, which is kind of sad, but it is. I want Sing Sing to win, but my heart of hearts, I know it's going to be Conclave.
I'm going with you. Conclave is my favorite here. I loved Conclave. It was in my top 10 of the year. Going into this award season, I thought that it was a lock that this was going to win a screenplay and the best actor. I don't think that anymore. I think this is going to be a screenplay winner, and that's it. But there's nothing wrong against that. I mean, Peter wrote a fantastic screenplay. It's all dialogue. And with a dialogue-driven film, there's a lot of things that could go wrong. The movie could move at a very slow pace when there's nothing going on besides just a couple people having a conversation, or a conclave having a full-blown voting moment, and you're so enthralled with it. Them just counting the votes and saying, sir this, sir that, got this many votes. And I'm like, okay, cool. Well, Emilia Perez, I'm just going to say it. I think that script is dog shit. I think it's a shit script. I don't get it. I mean, that movie has good things about it, and we'll get into that in a bit, but the script is garbage. The script almost makes no sense once we get down to it, because it's counterintuitive to what it's trying to say. And what it's trying to say doesn't come along the right way. If you're going to be a movie speaking about certain things, the script needs to speak that as well. And the script is not written that well. And when you're in collaboration with, that tells you that you don't have a good script. In collaboration with, for an Academy Award, I don't remember the last time that's ever happened. I don't remember. But I'm going with Conclave. I know it's going to win. Thus why Emilia Perez will not win the Best Picture with no screenplay nomination. Well, it has nomination, but it's not going to win. But I believe it's going to be Conclave, just like you do.
Yeah.
What is next? Next up is visual effects. Okay. I have something to say about this one first. So last year, we both saw Godzilla -1.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That was made for $15 million.
Yeah.
For $15 million, that wasn't half bad visual effects.
No, it was pretty stunning. And that's actually, not to deter you, that was the movie that made me go, okay, if this was made for $15 million at least, and it looks this good, then there's no reason why a studio picture should have a $200 million more budget and look like complete shit, because it can be done well.
I mean, look at the Flash, $200-something million, and it looks like that.
Red One was the worst example of that. Like that movie looks so muddy and so dark. Ugh.
And the reindeer, I hate to say it, but the freaking reindeer in the Santa Claus 2, Chuck, looked better than the reindeer in Red One. And I'm a fan of the movie. But for the visual effects, we have Alien Romulus, Better Man, Dune Part 2, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, and Wicked. Alien Romulus, it had very good effects. Except for one thing. And it was the cameo. Mr. Holt. In theaters, that looked awful. I haven't watched the Blu-ray yet.
I haven't watched
the version.
Yeah, I haven't watched the Blu-ray yet. I'm told that he polished it up for home video.
Yeah. They actually did a full apology saying, we're sorry it looked bad, but we fixed it. Forgive us. I don't think this should be here because of that reason, but I think there was a couple other choices that they could have gone with. That being said, I think the winner right here is going to be Dune Part 2. I think it's going to be Dune Part 2.
Close. I would say, yeah, because it is a very visually stunning movie. I would say the one that it has a very tight race with is Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. That's the one that I see doing, because that animation is so damn good. I mean, it looks extremely refined, especially when you go back to just a few years ago and watch like Rise or Dawn. I mean, those movies still look good, but this somehow looks a lot more improved and more refined and honed in. I really, really thought that was good. Molly mentioned another one that I think it has a tight race with, and that's Wicked Part 1.
Yes.
A movie made on a budget for $150 million. It looks absolutely stunning. So you have 3 movies in here that are winning, that are like in a very tight race for number 1. Better Man, I'm a fierce defender of that movie. It's funny because that was the last mystery movie before last night, which was Companion. And I mentioned to Molly, because we saw Companion together, I was surprised that nobody walked out of that one. Normally with mystery movies, somebody walks out, if not the entire audience. And the most amount of walkouts I've seen are for Better Man and Spy X Family Code White, because nobody wanted to sit through an anime movie.
No.
But Better Man, I mean, the only visual effect is Robbie Williams as an ape. I don't think that's enough to take home the entire award. Same thing with Alien Romulus, even though Alien Romulus is really good. So, damn, now that I'm talking this out, yeah, it is. I can't make a decision. My gut says it's Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. My heart says it's Wicked, and my head says it's Dune Part 2. So I can't make a decision between those 3 right now.
My heart would pick Wicked because I'm sorry, it's the mix of the cinematography and the visual effects with defying gravity. That's the defining factor for me, is that. I mean, when it looks that real, and I don't like heights, so if I was voting, I'm voting Wicked. If I'm voting with the Academy set of mind, it's Dune, because Dune won the first one, and it looks better. There's more action in here. There's more of the sandworms in here. There's more. So with more of the visual effects here, if Kingdom won it, God bless them, because that's amazing. What they did there is some of the best visual effects I've seen in years.
Yeah.
If it goes to Kingdom, no one's going to complain. If it goes to Wicked, no one is going to complain. If it goes to Dune, nobody will complain. I think it's going to Dune. If it goes to any of the bottom 2, either of the bottom 2, I have no qualms with it whatsoever. Next up is sound. Okay. So sound is interesting because we have A Complete Unknown, Dune Part 2, Emilia Perez, Wicked, and The Wild Robot. The Wild Robot was one I did not see coming in sound, but holy shit if it doesn't deserve it. It deserves it. I think it's going to Dune. I believe it's going to Dune. But
good sound. You kind of have to look at the nominations here. I believe the winner of that one was the rightful winner. That was The Zone of Interest. That is a movie all about sound that's very heavily dependent on sound. So we have, first of all, Emilia Perez. Get it out. There's no reason it needs to be in the best sound category. The Wild Robot. Yeah, I mean, it is very mixed. It sound mixed very well. A Complete Unknown, the sound was really good with that. But I don't know. I would say it has 50% of it. I think again the tight race here is Dune and Wicked. I would say Wicked. Damn it, I would say Wicked.
if it goes to Wicked, I mean, that's one of my favorite movies I've seen in the past several years. So I have no issues with it. Wicked is one. It has the best sound editing I think I've heard all year. The sound mixing, there were a couple moments here and there, especially with a auto-tune issue that could have been a bit more refined and fixed up. A Complete Unknown, I haven't seen it yet because my theater decided not to play it. Emilia Perez doesn't deserve a sound nomination in the slightest. You could have put in a Challengers. You could have put in a Civil War. Hell, If had a better sound than Emilia Perez did.
Now that you're thinking about it, yeah, Civil War would have been more appropriate getting nominated in that category because that's a very sound-heavy movie. Yeah, I don't know why you put Emilia Perez in there, guys. I mean, but again, I'll reserve my thoughts for that when we get to like the higher up categories, because that's a very problematic movie. And I will say, just for everybody watching, I'm speaking for myself and for Noah. We both did not care for Emilia Perez, not because of any political reasons. I am an ally.
Yep.
Noah's an ally.
Yep.
I disagree with the way a lot of things were handled in that movie, and I'm very baffled as to why it's receiving this slew of attention. I really don't understand. So I want to put that out there. We are going to have appropriate discussions on why we don't care for the movie. It's not going to be hatred, mindless hatred. We don't agree with that. We certainly stand by it. I just want to put that out there before somebody comes running to you in your DMs like, you're wrong about Emilia Perez. It's the best movie since sliced bread. And I remember when I was around to have sliced bread.
And at the very end of the DM, it says fucking yee yee on it. Sure. we live in Ohio. In my area, why is yee yee a thing in my area? I don't know. But people come into my work, they leave and they go yee yee. I'm like, okay, sure. We live on yeehaw.
Well, you're Southern Ohio, so I mean, it's still not the Southern United States.
No. But we'll get more into the Emilia Perez. There's a couple of things that it does have going for it that were really good, but we'll get to that soon. Next up is we're gonna skip these the live action short films. I haven't seen them.
Neither have I.
they don't play in front of everything. Next up is production design. The nominations are The Brutalist. There we go. The Brutalist, Conclave, Dune Part 2, Nosferatu, and Wicked. Kyle, what do you think is going to win, and what would you pick to win?
Wicked. But Nosferatu, I think, is kind of like, I think with the Academy, because Nosferatu isn't up for that many awards, I think they're going to give it to that and show a little leeway towards it, because Wicked's up for like a lot of big stuff and a lot of little stuff too. So Wicked is gorgeous to look at, but Nosferatu, I mean, every penny was just put into how good that movie looked. So it's a toss up between the two. I think Nosferatu has it, but I'm gonna say Wicked.
I'm gonna say Wicked as well, just because they planted all the poppies, all the flowers, and I think the Oscars are gonna look at that and go, "That's the winner." Nosferatu, oh my god, that production design, the castle, the gothic lighting, everything about that movie was just total drab and darkness and gothic, and I loved it. I would love for Nosferatu to win something. If I was going to pick something, it'll be a separate one soon. I'm going with Wicked. Nosferatu wins it. Awesome. The Brutalist, I haven't seen it.
Conclave's confusing in this one. The Brutalist, I can see why that is a movie about an architecturist or architecturalist, however you pronounce it. I apologize, but it's a guy who's very into like art, the Brutalist style of architecture, and when you see like the results of that stuff, like it's very, very stunning to look at. So I can see why the Brutalist is a part of that. Conclave, it's just big empty rooms. So I don't really understand that.
And Dune Part 2, I get it. Some of it was shot on a soundstage. The issue is that's a very small part of the movie. I mean, the production design during the big fight between him and Butler, yeah, that's very well done. It's fucking concrete. It's concrete is all it is. Oh, God dang. I woke up at 6:30 this morning and I turned on HBO and I watched a little bit of Dune Part 2 on there because it was on, and I'm like, holy shit, this is still amazing. Production design, I don't think so. I think it should have gone to Anora. Again, a Challengers, a Civil War should have got more nominations here, especially a Civil War with the production design. I think that was phenomenal. But it's going to Wicked, I think. Nosferatu wins it, no problem at all. Next up will be... This is Best Picture. Okay, so Best Picture we will come back to.
Yeah.
Best Original Song. I'm going to bitch for a minute. I'm going to throw a hissy fit. Because there's two songs that are omitted here that should be up there. And one of them is Kiss the Sky from The Wild Robot. Sure, is it too kiddie? But here's the thing. If you're saying it's too kiddie, why did Let It Go win? Why did I Can't Let, or whatever that song was from Toy Story 4, go on to be nominated?
I Can't Let You Throw Yourself Away.
Yeah. Why is that not too kiddie? But Kiss the Sky is considered too kiddie for a Oscars. Okay. The other one I think should have been Ain't No Love in Oklahoma, because that was made for Twisters. Sure, it's a big hit now, but guess what? They're not airing the Best Original Songs now. They're not doing them this year because of the nominations. They're awful nominations. They're boring.
Yeah. that doesn't make sense to me. I don't know why the Oscars is like, oh, we're not televising this category this year, or we're not doing this or that. There's quite a few songs that are omitted this year. Burn My Tongue by, I have my list right here. Burn My Tongue by Gene Dawson from Abigail, I thought was incredible for that film.
Yep.
Come Press Repress by Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross for Challengers. Very, very good. Maybe this is because it's a cover. I don't know, but I don't care because it was done for the movie. I Was Made for Loving You by Youngblood for The Fall Guy. Dance Before We Walk by August Moon for The Idea of You. Here We Go by Lil Nas X from Beverly Hills Cop Axel F. Ain't No Love in Oklahoma and Out of Oklahoma by Lainey Wilson from Twisters. Save Me by Seleka from Trap.
Trap, yeah.
Any of the songs that they wrote and composed for Smile 2. That is an actress playing a singer with a whole bunch of material that sounds like it would have been hits already. And Beyond from Moana 2. What do we have instead? We have, I know, 2 from Emilia Perez, which is interesting because, and I will say this, for a musical, Emilia Perez has not one good musical number in it. That is one of its biggest downfalls.
We have El Mal from Emilia Perez, The Journey from the 688, Like a Bird from Sing Sing, which I have not heard yet. I meant to say Sing Sing comes out on Tuesday on digital, and I'm watching that then. So I am so happy to finally see Sing Sing. Mi Camino. Yeah. From Emilia Perez. Never Too Late from the Elton John Never Too Late movie. Okay. Let's just get this out of the way. The Journey? It's Diane Warren. She gets in every damn year. She hasn't missed in over a decade. So she does a song. It gets nominated. She is the James Patterson of the Academy Awards. It's James Patterson puts out 75 books a freaking month. I mean, you go sneeze, you take a pee, and you put your shoes on, and he has a new book out at Walmart right now.
Yeah.
Diane Warren, she doesn't miss. She doesn't miss. What wins here? It's gonna be maybe Mi Camino. I don't know. I don't like either song from Emilia Perez. I really don't. I think they're both awful, but they're going to kiss that movie's ass in this category. I think this will be one of the few wins it gets.
Yeah, no, I think it'll be El Mal. That was the one that was nominated and won the award at the Golden Globes. I think it'll be that because, I mean, look at the other nominations. Yeah. It seems like they purposely went out of their way to not go for what people were listening to. I don't necessarily understand that. I know the Grammys have like a category for best song for a visual medium, and I will look that up right now. But it's amazing to me that 2 from Emilia Perez were nominated. And I understand why Wicked can't be nominated. Wicked can't be nominated because even though those songs are performed extremely beautifully, they are based on pre-existing source material. So it can't be nominated. I get it. Just like the stuff from Mean Girls can't be nominated. The remake. It's a little further down. American Roots, Gospel and Contemporary Christian, Latin. Okay, here we go. Best song written for visual media. Ain't No Love in Oklahoma for Twisters. Better Place for Trolls Band Together. Can't Catch Me Now for Hunger Games, Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. It Never Went Away from American Symphony, and Love Will Survive from The Tattooist of Auschwitz. Those are already 5 much better nominees than what we have this year.
I think here's what I'm hoping, okay? Before we move on to the next one, here's what I'm hoping. You have both Arrivo and Grande there. I think you do a rendition of some Wicked songs. I think you do. To make up for that, because a lot of people don't understand how the award works. Yes, there are songs in a movie. They weren't written for the Wicked movie. They were written for the Broadway play back 25 years ago. I think what you do here is you do that. You give maybe Robbie Williams comes out for something. Maybe. I'm not sure. But you definitely do Wicked. And you do that maybe at the beginning of it with an intro. Maybe do a little bit of, say, Dancing Through Life. Do a little bit of Popular. And then you end it off with Defying Gravity, at least the very end. And you have a stunt where she's going up off the stage and she does that big moment. I think that's what you do. With this is the joke of a category. I think it's a joke because none of these songs are even remotely memorable. Sure, Elton John's great. He's a great performer. He's one of the best. No other award show is going to nominate this.
He's also won the award a few times. Like he just recently won it in 2019 for Rocket Man. So yep. I don't see him winning again.
No. It's going to go now that you mentioned that El Mal won the Golden Globe, I completely forgot about that. So it's probably going to go to El Mal, but we'll see. Let's go on to a better award that has a lot more legitimacy. And that would be the best musical score. Okay. So we have The Brutalist. We have Conclave, Emilia Perez, Wicked, and The Wild Robot. Kyle, what do you think is winning, and what would you pick to win?
Of course, I would pick Wicked. What I think is going to win is The Brutalist. Although I don't understand, again, why Emilia Perez is here and why something like Challengers or Dune Part 2 or Civil War wasn't nominated. Like, I don't... And we're not these, like, uptight film bros that are like, well, the only movies that matter are from A24 and Neon. No. But when you're, like, leapfrogging over movies that put in actual effort for something that comes off almost like a cartoon, it's a little annoying.
With Conclave, I get why it's here. It plays a role. It's a very menacing, dark, depressing score. It plays a character in the movie. Emilia Perez, it adds nothing to the story. It adds nothing to you as a viewer. The Wild Robot, that ending would not be clearly as impactful if it wasn't for the score here. Wicked, it's Powell and Schwartz. They don't miss. But it's going to go to The Brutalist. They want to give The Brutalist a couple of awards. They clearly love the movie. It's either between that or Wicked. I think it's bullshit about their rule why Dune Part 2 couldn't be in this, because it's not completely new and it's somewhat used from the first one. But if you look back at some of their other nominations for sequels, they clearly didn't care. And I think it's a recency biased, which is fine.
Yeah.
Dune Part 2 should be in here. Take Emilia Perez out, and you clearly have a better top 5 and a more respected top 5 that everybody can agree on.
Mm-hmm.
But even then, the big omission was Challengers. That was the best score of the entire year, I think, because those tennis matches...
Yeah.
Those tennis matches, yes, they're very well shot. The cinematography is great. But if you don't have good sound and good score, then your cinematography almost means nothing, because it adds nothing to you as a viewer enjoying that moment. Going up here to the next award is makeup and hairstyling. We have A Different Man, Emilia Perez, Nosferatu, The Substance, and Wicked. Makeup and hairstyling, I think, should go to The Substance.
Me too.
But Nosferatu, that's the second one right there.
That
That
has
is
a good
great.
chance. That has a really good chance. The Substance, I think, would be really good for makeup and hairstyling. Because it's a body horror movie, and it definitely, like, that's an award that would fit right in that movie's wheelhouse. But also, like, looking back on it, I mean, the makeup effects, especially the when the Substance starts getting misused about halfway through, and you can tell, like, that just her one finger is affected and the rest of her hand is all normal. I mean, that is amazing. And I really think everything from as little as that to as big as the over the top finale, I think I think the Substance should get this. I really do.
I wanted to ask, did you see The Substance alone, or did Molly go with you to see The Substance? Because I'm just curious.
Hell no, hell no. Molly does not like horror movies, and I can respect that. Well, she likes, like, lighthearted stuff. Like, she loved Beetlejuice,
Mhm.
and Nightmare Before, but stuff like Blood and Guts and all that kind of stuff
Yeah.
is not really her drive. Um, and I respect that. Um, that's not. I mean, some people just don't like it. The Substance was a little too much for me at times, so uh, I,
I could only
I
imagine for her.
oh my god, her and I probably would have both been vomiting if we weren't feeling it.
Yeah. I remember watching that, and I was warned not to have anything to eat during it, and I did not listen, and I put my food down. I went, okay, I have 20 minutes left. The food can cool.
I remember. I think. I
Hey now.
think I asked her. I asked her to see it because it was Dennis Quaid was in it. Dennis Quaid took over for Ray Liotta. Ray Liotta was originally going to be in it, and then 3 months after he was cast, he passed away. So Dennis Quaid came in, um, and we both loved making fun of The Long Game. We didn't enjoy watching it because it was awful. Um, but Dennis Quaid has just opened the door to making these shitty movies. And then when he finally showed up in a good one, I'm like, oh my God, we need to see it. But I'm like, well, it's a body horror movie. I don't know how I don't think she'll really like that. And then I texted her after. I was like, oh, I would like that. Um, no, it's yeah. If anything, for makeup and hair, they used, I think they said 21,000 gallons of blood. That's astounding.
Yeah.
And 2 pounds of shrimp because he shoves
Yep.
his face full of shrimp.
He devours it. Oh my God. The next award is Best International Feature. This has no bearing of a discussion whatsoever. We know what's winning.
So it's I'm Still Here, The Girl with the Needle, Emilia Perez, Flo, and The Seed of the Sacred Fig. So I've only seen Flo and Emilia Perez. I would say it's Flo,
Flo.
although that has a better shot of winning Best Animated Feature.
Yeah.
International, probably The Girl with the Needle, because I all of a sudden, after nominations came out, I'm starting to hear more pickup on that one than I'm Still Here or Sacred Fig. So I'm going to say it's Girl with the Needle for international.
I think it's going to Perez. I think they're going to give it something. If they don't give it picture, it will go to that. If I'm voting, Flo. I mean, Flo was phenomenal. I loved Flo. But what's next? Okay. Film editing. Now this one's a joke. This one is a complete joke, okay? We have Anora, deserving. The Brutalist, deserving. Conclave, deserving. Wicked, deserving. Emilia Perez was edited like you're watching an episode of General Hospital. I'm being generous.
some of these nominations that this movie received, I really are just baffling to me. I really don't understand it. Um, Especially with movies like Civil War and Love Lies Bleeding, with how they were edited and everything. I really don't understand why this movie keeps. It's like every award we're hitting is like that movie got nominated and that movie got editing. I'm gonna say Wicked. Brutalist is great. I don't think editing was a big component of that because the movie is 3.5 hours long. So if anything, the Academy is like, you should have edited some of it out. But um, either that or Anora. Um, but I'm going to go with Wicked.
I'm going to go with Wicked deserves it. From what I'm going to say, editing is a big component to winning the picture as well. So if I was voting Wicked, I think they'll go Brutalist. But my two picks would be Wicked or Anora. Conclave is very well edited. It's just a lot of shots of them walking down a hallway. And I get it. You wanted to give them something, but, you know. I get it. But if you look at the editing and the substance, Nosferatu, Abigail. I mean, Abigail is one of the most... It's one of the best edited horror movies of last year. Mm-hmm. With all the quick cuts that they have to do that don't feel cheap, it works. I don't get it. Is Emilia Perez in this next category? Hey, it's not in one because it's not a short film. We're skipping that one.
Yeah, I haven't seen any. I haven't seen any of the documentary features or short films. No. They really they go out of their way to pick like the ones that you don't really hear of until this ceremony comes out. So yeah, I haven't seen Sugarcane. I haven't seen Soundtrack to a Coup d'etat. I haven't seen Black Box Diaries or No Other Land. What's the other one? I'm forgetting the other one.
The Porcelain
War. The one, however, I want to see is Black Box Diaries. That one I want to, but somebody told me, oh, it's on Paramount Plus. I said, okay, perfect. I'm going to go add it to my list. And then I went to go add it, and they're like, oh, you don't pay for the Showtime add-on. And I said, well, bullshit. Fuck that.
Bullshit. The one I know, see, I didn't know that was on the Paramount Plus Showtime because I pay for only the Paramount Plus. I know I can watch Sugarcane on Hulu right now.
Yeah.
But I have no interest in it.
Neither do I. I know what it's about. I don't. There was a documentary like that a couple years ago that I watched called Procession, and I'm like, that one was already like tough to watch, but really good. It was like, I kind of don't want to see the same subject again so soon after that.
I'm surprised they didn't do like a Will and Harper or something like that. But what pisses me off is they don't do any of these celebrity ones. Like they didn't do
for Reeve one.
My Neighbor. I mean, with Won't You Be My Neighbor, that should have won it that year. They didn't do the Bob Ross one. They didn't do multiple of the other ones. And of course they didn't do the Superman.
Yeah.
I get it. Fine. It's just a complete joke. Next up is, oh, look, it's here. Directing, Anora, The Brutalist, A Complete Unknown, Emilia Perez, and The Substance. I'm going to steal this one. There's a glaring omission that is laughable. And that is no Denis Villeneuve for Dune Part 2. Why is he not here? You have me, who doesn't even love the first Dune. He wasn't even nominated for that. This one, you had to compile a more difficult script. There's more action in here. There's a lot of moments where it's just him screaming. It's him screaming. And the way you direct that, the blocking that you have to do, is phenomenal. The direction of that film, I think, is the best direction I have seen in all of 2024. Why it's not here is stupid.
Mm-hmm.
But besides that, you also should have done one that I was very, very passionate about that should have been up for direction is The Fall Guy. How you choreograph those stunts and how you direct those shots. Why Emilia Perez is here over that, I have no freaking clue. But, okay. If I had to pick, with my heart of hearts, I'm going with The Brutalist. That's the favorite to win right now. It's probably going to win at the Oscars, I think, but don't count out Sean Baker or Farjad.
Yeah, my heart's leaning towards The Substance for Best Director. I don't know why, just something about that in particular is really speaking to me. So I'm picking, as much as I love Anora, I'm picking The Substance for Best Director.
I won't have an issue with any of them besides Emilia Perez. If Emilia Perez wins it, then you're going to see a lot of people even more pissed off about it. Going up here, we have costume design. Complete Unknown, Conclave, one for Gladiator 2, Nosferatu, and Wicked. What do you think is going to win, and what would you pick to win?
Both answers are Wicked. I mean, every outfit in that movie is gorgeous to look at. It's very fine-tuned to every character. I really think that's an award I think the Academy goes, okay, we want to give it to Wicked, but what are the other 4 movies that we have to nominate so that way it doesn't seem like we're giving it to it? Complete Unknown, I mean, hey, people wear normal clothes in that, so I guess that counts as costume design. Conclave, they're all in Catholic priest outfits or Catholic priest clothes. Again, I don't get that. Gladiator 2, I understand. And Nosferatu, God, that one's also kind of like neck and neck with Wicked, but I'm picking Wicked.
I'm going with you. Very easy category. I think the 2 that Wicked has locked in is costume design and production design. I think that's phenomenal. There's no question to me. Wicked. Next up is cinematography. We have The Brutalist, Dune Part 2. Emilia Perez, Maria, and Nosferatu. I'm going to let you take this one first. What do you think is winning, and what would you pick?
Again, the same for I'm going to pick and wow. Excuse me. I'm going to pick what I would pick, and I'm going to pick what I think they're going to pick, and for me, that's 2. That is a very gorgeous looking movie to look at. Nosferatu is a good runner-up as well, but I think the Academy is like, okay, we're already focusing enough on horror with The Substance. We don't want to distract too much from other movies with it, which I think is bullshit. So I think it's Dune Part 2.
I think the same thing. That's one of the best shot movies of the entire year. I'm surprised that Wicked isn't here because that is phenomenally shot as well. I think you take Maria out and should have put Wicked in. Emilia Perez was very well shot. I will say that. The cinematography was fine. Award worthy? No. I mean, you look at something like, say, a Dune Part 2, where you have multiple sections of that film. That is the best cinematography that you've seen in months. And it's not only just sitting a camera there. You got to frame it properly. You have to light it properly. If you're doing a a sweeping shot. Heck, take Emilia Perez out and put in something like Bad Boys Ride or Die. That had better cinematography than Emilia Perez. It's
Absolutely.
laughable. It's laughable. But Dune Part 2 for this one, I'm glad it's winning something, but it should be up for more. Animated short film, I haven't seen any of these.
Neither have I. Yeah.
Which is very, very, very surprising because a lot of the times Disney usually gets in here, but Disney didn't do a short film that I know of this year.
No, they've been lacking for the last few years. I don't know what's going on with them. That's one of my favorite traditions is with a Pixar movie is seeing the short film before them. I know with Dogman they're doing a short film before that. It's something with the bad guys. But I know that they're doing a short film for that. They did a short film before Migration. I mean, bring those back. Kids aren't going to be afraid of those. I think the big reason why they stopped doing it was because they put that half-hour Frozen TV special in front of Coco, and people like I remember when I went to the theater, I'm like, is this fucking thing gonna end so I can watch Coco? Like, are you serious?
Now, don't get me wrong. I'm a Disney nut. I have a Mickey Mouse white polo with Mickey Mouse all over it. I love that company to death, and I love Frozen. I love Olaf. But I don't want to go and see a Mexican film dealing with the Day of the Dead and having Olaf, Elsa, and Anna, Kristoff, and Sven singing about Christmas traditions. I'm sorry, that's not what I paid for. And I felt bad for the people who paid to have a babysitter. Because if you paid for a babysitter, if you're paying them hourly, you just wasted an hour on trailers and the short film. You haven't even started the movie yet.
Yeah, that's no, but I agree. Disney usually gets in there, and I think Disney's been slacking with short film releases recently. Hopefully they bring that back. I doubt they will.
Molly has a comment here. I haven't seen any of the short films, but the title, The Magic Candles, is very intriguing.
Is it candles or candies?
It might be candies. I realize I am small screen. It is candies. Candies. There we go.
Magic Candies. It is a Japanese short film. It's 21 minutes. What is it about? It is about a kid named Dong Dong looks for new marbles, buys a bag of colorful marble-shaped candies instead. When he pops one of them into his mouth, his old sofa begins to speak to him. Yeah, I want to see this. So,
does your Regal do like the short film thing where they all? Yeah, okay.
They do. I haven't gone to any of them, just for time reasons. Maybe this year if it opens up reasonable enough. But no, I haven't gone to them. I think they had streaming a little before the ceremony. I hope they do.
I hope so. But moving on to the next category, I believe it's animated feature. Yes, animated feature. Flow, Inside Out 2, Memoir of a Snail, Wallace and Gromit, Vengeance Most Foul, and The Wild Robot. What do you think is winning this, and what would you pick?
So I haven't seen Memoir of a Snail or Wallace and Gromit. I'm actually, after we're done here, I'm watching the new Wallace and Gromit.
Okay.
Because I revisited everything today, and I'm like, I'm ready to watch the new one. Flow is so good. Inside Out 2 is really good. I think they're going to give it to The Wild Robot. I mean, Molly can attest, I was an absolute mess at the end of that movie. It was one of two movies that I was a mess at with her. The other one was My Old Ass, but we were both sobbing at the end of it. I mean, that movie is very, very, very great. The Wild Robot, I think, will get Best Animated because of critically, it's the best reviewed of all of the movies, even over Flow, and it
Mhm.
has that kind of like watercolor cell shaded animation style, stuff like The Legend of Zelda Wind Waker has. Um, I think it's going to go to The Wild Robot. I could be wrong, but I think I'm right here.
I think it's going to go to the Wild Robot as well. Inside Out 2 had a good chance. It had it locked in before Wild Robot came out. Wild Robot came out, swept us all away, and nobody expected that to be as good as it was. I mean, the trailers were great. We weren't expecting that. That was on another level. Flow wins. Flow is definitely worthy. It 100% worthy.
Absolutely.
And Memoir of a Snail, I'll be renting that one soon.
That's a stop motion. It's interesting that 2 stop motion films are on this list this year.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah. Which I'm very, very happy about, because a lot of the times they just go for the CGI, and it's mostly like the most popular one. I'm glad they're not going with the most popular one this year. Okay. Actress in a supporting role: Monica Barbaro, Complete Unknown; Ariana Grande, Wicked; Felicity Jones in The Brutalist; Isabella Rossellini in Conclave; and Zoe Saldana in Emilia Perez. Who do you think is winning, and who would you pick?
So I'm picking, to me, what I think is the most obvious winner in this category, Miss Galinda Upland. It's Ariana Grande from Wicked Part 1. As I said when I did our best of show about a week ago, she does so much with that role. Like, she fully becomes that character, and she shows it the love and respect that it deserves. Monica Barbaro was really good. She played Joan Baez in A Complete Unknown. I thought she was really good, but she's not really in it a whole lot to make that much of an impact. I would have done like Elle Fanning in that movie if you were going to go after that movie for that role. Felicity Jones is terrific in The Brutalist. She is sort of a spoiler. She's in the second half of the movie. So after intermission is when her character comes into play. But she's still really good. The 2 that I think are just absolutely baffling for different reasons are Zoe Saldana for Emilia Perez and Isabella Rossellini. Now, Isabella Rossellini, I mentioned to you on our Best of the Year list that I thought it would have been absurd if she got nominated for Best Supporting Actress, because number 1, she's barely in the movie, and number 2, she doesn't do anything outstanding in the film to warrant that kind of attention. I don't understand that. Now, my only guess why they nominated her is for a legacy reason. Like, hey, you've been working so hard in the past, and we kind of feel like this is the perfect opportunity to finally give you your credit. I don't know. That's just me. The reason why I have an issue with Zoe Saldana for Emilia Perez is the supporting actress. I don't understand that. She is not only top billed in the movie, she has the most screen time. That's not supporting to me. That to me is carrying the fucking movie.
Yep.
So I don't know. I liked Zoe Saldana in the movie. Actually, the main trio of actresses in the movie I really liked. That's one of the things that stands out about that movie to me. But wires are getting who should be in supporting and who should be an actress. I understand that Emilia Perez is the title role of the movie, but Saldana has way more screen time in the movie in comparison.
I'm going with Grande. I think she should win this.
Absolutely.
She does the most with the role. I mean, Rossellini, she has a good monologue. For 7 minutes she's on screen. Zoe Saldana is the lead role. She is not a supporting actress. She's pretty much one of the first people you see on screen. She has the most songs. She has the most to do. And I mean, Zoe Saldana, it might be them just trying to give it something. I get why the Golden Globes did it, okay? I get why the Golden Globes did it, fine. And it's not that she's bad in the role. She's not. She's very good in this role. One of the few things I liked about it was that, the cinematography, and I liked that they were trying to do a inspiring message. They just didn't do it properly. Supporting role, Grande. Grande should win this. She should win this. Will she win it? Right now, I don't think so. I think it's going to go to Zoe. I mean, I will jump for joy naked around my living room if she wins this. It'll be live on YouTube. No, I'm kidding. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. But I want Grande. I really do. We'll see. This next one is a lock. Well, no. Sorry. I thought it was going to be the supporting actor. The leading actress, we have Cynthia Erivo, Carla Sofia Gascon for Amelia Perez, Mikey Madison Honora, Demi Moore, The Substance, and Fernando Torres for I'm Still Here. What do you see winning, and who would you pick?
Mikey Madison is so great in Honora for several reasons. Now, we who did see the film, and it is not for any erotic reasons why we liked her performance in the movie.
No.
It's because she handles this character arc very well. And up until a couple of weeks ago, I thought that she was going to be a shoo-in for the winner. Cynthia Erivo is mesmerizing. In every role that she does, even when it's something as throwaway as when she did the Blue Fairy in Zemeckis' Pinocchio a couple years ago, she's still very good. I knew she had pipes on her when she made her debut in Bad Times at the El Royale, and she utilized them fully here. Is awesome. However, by the way, like I said earlier in the show, I have not seen I'm Still Here, so I can't speak on Miss Torres. And Gascon does really good in the movie. She is very good. But I think they're going to give it to Demi Moore. Because Demi had a heavier role to carry. She's also been in this business for a long time, so it could be a legacy thing like I mentioned with Rossellini. I primarily want to see her win because I know that she's a very supportive person. Like she divorced Bruce Willis nearly 30 years ago, and she is very much still caring about him and loving him through his dementia diagnosis and everything. Mm-hmm. That speaks volumes about somebody's character. All really amusing because she brings that tiny little fucking dog with her everywhere she goes. I think the dog's name is Pilaf.
Yeah.
Please just let her win so she can carry it and show it on stage. It's a little goofy look. It's a tiny little shit dog. It doesn't for those who haven't seen it, like it's like it's 2 pounds and it's got a tongue that hangs out through this.
It's the most ridiculous thing, but man, if it doesn't love her more than anything else in this world. I mean, my God. My dog can literally poop that dog out. He's that big. If I'm picking who should win, will win. Oh shit. Will win, I'm going to say Moore. Should win? I'd pick Mikey Madison. I mean, I didn't expect that out of her. I didn't expect this much emotion out of her, and the type of character tonal switch she has to do midway through the movie. And how she has to carry that movie all on her shoulders for a lot of it when her supposed husband isn't around for the good majority of the entire movie, and how she has to play the very immature girl. And then she realizes, wait, I'm not actually marrying a man, I'm marrying a kid.
Yeah.
I married a kid. And I think that's why she should win. But if Moore wins, more power to her. She's phenomenal. She'd be my second pick. Erivo gave, I think, the best performance. But with Wicked for Good, that's more of a Elphaba film, from what I'm hearing. So if she's going to win for this role, Now,
yeah,
we haven't
you
seen
bring
it
up
yet,
a good point. Yeah,
but I think Moore will win it if I had to pick Mikey Madison. Next up will be, I'm guessing, supporting actor. Yes, supporting actor. Yura Borisov for Anora, Ariel Payne, Kieran Culkin, Edward Norton, Complete Unknown, Guy Pearce, The Brutalist, and Jeremy Strong for The Apprentice. I have not seen The Apprentice yet, and I have not seen A Complete Unknown or The Brutalist. But the lock right here, I think this is the biggest lock of the night, is Kieran Culkin is going to win this.
Absolutely, yeah.
I think there's... But
the other performers are all fantastic. They really are. Edward Norton is great as Pete Seeger. It's Kieran Culkin. I mean, he that is his award that night. That's the be all end all of it.
And to see him go from the kid who drinks a can of Pepsi and he's in the bed in Home Alone and Home Alone 2 to winning a Oscar is phenomenal. I mean, I haven't seen his show Succession yet, but I've heard he's great. He won an Emmy for that, and now he's going to win an Oscar.
Yeah.
Best actor. This is a toss-up now. We have leading actor Adrian Brody for The Brutalist, Timothy Chalamet, Complete Unknown, Colman Domingo, Sing Sing, Ralph Fiennes, Conclave, and Sebastian Stan in The Apprentice. Right now, I think they're in favor of Adrian Brody.
Mm-hmm.
If I had to pick, I think they might lean towards a Timothy Chalamet at the end of the day.
At the end of the day, as much as I would love to see Colman Domingo walk away with it, and I really, really would, if they're going to look at any other person besides Brody, it would be Ralph Fiennes for Conclave, because he does a lot in that movie.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going to say Brody as well.
If the critics' choice in the SAGs go with somebody else, we'll see. But right now, it's Brody. I mean, Fiennes is overdue. He's way overdue for it. But I'd love for Ralph Fiennes to win it. And I would love for Timothy to win it. He's my favorite actor working today. But tough category. And then finally, we go back all the way down here to Best Picture. Wherever it is. There's makeup and hairstyling. There's score. Song, picture.
So just keep going.
Here we go. We have Anora, The Brutalist, A Complete Unknown, Conclave, Dune Part 2, Emilia Perez, I'm Still Here, Nickel Boys, The Substance, and Wicked. Okay. Before we get into this, we have no other precursors for it. We just have the Globes. So, going based off of the director and the screenplay, if Grande wins this, I think Emilia Perez is out of Best Picture. I think that talk is out. If Grande beats Zaldana, it's over. Right now, I think they're going with The Brutalist. It's an Academy pick. They're curmudgeonly old men. Mostly. But since this is a industry award where everybody votes, if there's that much love for Emilia Perez, which I'm not sensing that. I am not sensing that. I mean, even the Mexican community, the trans community, thinks that this film is a joke with the way it handles everything. When your two main communities can't even get behind you, that says something about your film. Now, James Cameron said it's a masterpiece. Okay. Here's the thing, Cameron. You might have 3 of the top 5 highest grossing films of all time. That doesn't mean anything. That one person who makes one film every 9 years and directs it, sure, you were more prominent back in the 90s, 80s. More prominent then. Now, if I'm going to listen to anybody, it will be a Tarantino, a Scorsese, a Denis Villeneuve, a James Mangold, a John Chu. I will even listen to somebody like the Russo brothers. I think they're going with The Brutalist, but we'll do our final predictions closer to it after we see all the nominees and we can see how the categories have shifted with the SAGs and the BAFTAs and the Critics' Choice. What do you think is going to happen?
I think, and I know Molly is screaming for Wicked because that was her best of the year last year, and I don't blame her at all. That movie is absolutely fantastic. If it wins Best Picture, it'll be one of the biggest surprises of the night. For me, I think the Academy wants to try doing something different this year. And I think it's nominating Emilia Perez so many times for what wants to do. And that's simply give The Substance Best Picture, which would be a huge game changer. It was a game changer back in 2019 when Parasite won Best Picture, because that was the first foreign language film to win Best Picture. I see them doing something like that again. I have a gut feeling they might go with The Substance. Brutalist, I mean, yeah, that's textbook Oscar fodder. I see what you're going for there. Conclave, kind of the same thing. A Complete Unknown is a little surprising because I like the movie a lot, but I wasn't head over heels about it. That's also because I can't fucking stand Bob Dylan. So you have to be really into his music to kind of gel with it. And Emilia Perez, like I said, is just not that that solid. It's not a terrible film. It's not one of the worst movies I've ever seen, but I also don't understand why it's here. So I'm on a wild limb here and say it's going to be The Substance.
I don't have an issue with any movie winning besides Emilia Perez. I don't think it will win it. And I had this on my last show. And people said I was stupid for saying that the most nominations does not win. Oppenheimer won it last year with 13 nominations. That's Oppenheimer. We knew Oppenheimer was winning the Best Picture back in July. We already knew that. It was a done deal. Here's why it doesn't matter. There was one category, one year where there was a movie that with more nominations that did not win the Best Picture. And the most glaring one was this. La La Land with 14 nominations and Moonlight with 8 nominations, 3 wins. La La Land wins 6 of them, including actress, director, score, song, and the production design and cinematography. Moonlight won adapted screenplay and actor. That's why it matters. Screenplay and actor. So if Emilia Perez somehow pulls a rabbit out of its ass and beats Conclave, and Zeldana wins, that's your best picture. That's them kissing that movie's ass, thinking that they're being a complete ally for everything. And there's a lot of other things that we won't get into about why everyone thinks that they're going to go with it. I'm not going to get into that. We're not going to get very, very political. I mean, there is a political statement that they would be making, a completely glaringly awful, stupid thing that they would be doing. But this is another one. Hugo had 11 nominations and won 5. Artist won that year with 10 nominations. So the most nominations does not automatically mean that you win Best Picture. With something like Gone with the Wind and Titanic, yes. Oppenheimer, 13 nominations. That's Oppenheimer. I don't think there's a movie on the level of Oppenheimer this year that's going to sweep that much. Win 7 awards. No. This is also, I think, a weaker year for the Academy Awards than last year. I truly believe it. I mean, you don't have a Holdovers. You don't have a Barbie. You don't have a Zone of Interest. Or even an Anatomy of a Fall. I mean, I don't know. But there was those. There was our Oscar predictions and our first reactions to them. Once we get more of the Critics' Choice and the SAG stuff, all those winners announced, it'll be easier for us to nail down what's going to win. The BAFTAs, we will leave out the BAFTAs for right now because the BAFTAs, they have the nominations. They don't really have a lot of nominations similar to them, and they're not going to do anything big with it. So what do you guys think about that? This was a long topic, but it's an important topic. But we're going to go into... Yes.
And for anyone asking, I discussed this with Noah earlier today. We're not even giving the Razzies attention. I mean, the Raspberries, they celebrate the worst in film every year. Good for them. They're just giant trolls. And they do it just for attention. They don't do it to actually point out like, hey, these are legitimately the worst movies of the year. It may have started like that, but it's certainly not how it is now. I mean, yes, Madam Web is up for Worst Picture. A lot of people hated that. Joker 2 is also up for Worst Picture. I certainly don't agree with that. Then again, Megalopolis is up for Worst Picture, so maybe they're on to something.
Well, what I found really funny is they cut out something like The Mousetrap, but